Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Bible Art Journaling Activity and Devotional. I'm your host, Adrian Rowe-Saulsbury. I'm glad to be with you every morning that we're on. It's a blessing, right? Every morning we wake up, it's a blessing. And then every morning I wake up to do this, it's a blessing. And I hope that you'll be inspired and uplifted and encouraged and curious to continue to open up God's Word. It's amazing. It really is. It's an amazing book, and not just filled with great stories, but great lessons for us to ponder and consider for our own lives. And I'm hoping that you all will grasp that vision. Okay. All right, let's pray. We'll get started. Father, I just want to thank you so very much for a beautiful day, a beautiful morning. It's not quite sunrise just yet. But, Lord, I hear the birds, and that's a blessing. I was able to get up this morning and come to my table and open up the Word. That's a blessing. And I don't want to take any of those things for granted. I pray, Lord, that you will be with us this morning as we open up your word and read the scriptures. Speak to us, I pray. And all those who get on each morning, Lord, I pray that they will hear something that will give them some hope and courage, help them feel loved and know that you care for them and that you are speaking all the time. Thank you for being a good God to us. And bless us in these moments, I pray. In Christ's name, amen. Okay, so I'm doing something slightly different. This Bible that I purchased, it included the apocrypha. And I wanted to, actually journal the apocrypha as well. It is not my tradition. I did not grow up knowing and or learning about the apocrypha books. But as I have kind of dug a little deeper, I have found my way. I did know about them prior to getting this journaling Bible. And so anyway, I am journaling this week. I have been kind of looking at the book or the Prayer of Azariah, one of the 3 Hebrew boys or young men that were in the fiery furnace. And we know them as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And Abednego is Azariah, okay? At any rate, when the word apocrypha means hidden. And, you know, I like a good mystery. So it doesn't take too much for me. Anyway, many of these, the apocrypha books were not included in our regular 66 book canon. However, there are several religious denominations and groups that include that in their reading and include that in their worship and all of that. Okay, so there are several groups that use these books and read out of them and everything like that. But the majority of us only have the 66. Now, I say as I read these, the Apocrypha, that it is, it's, I think, a little bit more enlightening. My husband says that our 66 books is like black and white, whereas the Apocrypha and some of those what are called lost books are like HD. Okay? I don't know. I said this yesterday that it does not disrupt your relationship with God. It does not, this is not anything what's the word? It don't have anything to do with your salvation. Salvific. I think that's how it goes. Salvific. Anyway, I just think that it's a good read, and we can still learn all kinds of things. You know, God is in everything, the good and the bad. He's there. Okay, He said it. Look, you in the depths of hell, I'll be there too. Yeah, He's not scared. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway. So I'm doing something a little different. I'm in Azariah, the Prayer of Azariah, and the Song of the Three Jews. That's what this is called. And this Bible shares with me where it would have gone in the book of Daniel. All right, and it says between chapters 3, verse 23 and 24. So right in the middle of 23 and 24, this is where this prayer and song would have gone. I'm not exactly sure why it is not included. To me, it just does not make sense. And I know the argument will be, well, we just don't know, who wrote it. Yeah, well, there are several books in our regular canon and we're not certain who wrote them, okay? For example, we have 2 Samuel. It's a book named after, and it talks about him after he's passed. So who wrote that? Samuel didn't write that. Anyway. And there are some others in the New Testament or whatever, I'm just saying we don't know. There are books that we're not certain who wrote them, and we read those. So I'm not sure. I think a song and a prayer that surely could have gotten into. I'm thinking it should have stayed, but at any rate, it's not included. It's a part of the apocrypha, the hidden works or hidden books, something hidden, and we found it. How about that? It wasn't really a mystery, but we found it, and I'm here. So if you don't have this book, it's okay. And you can definitely Google it, and there's in a PDF form the prayer and all. Okay, so it's not hard to actually get to. Yesterday I journaled his name. All right, and the point that I mentioned also on yesterday is the fact that when these 3 young men were taken from their home and their culture and their religion, the first thing that was done, their names were changed. Their Hebrew names were Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael. I think I'm saying that properly. And when they were captured and brought to Babylon, to the land of the Chaldeans, all right, they were stripped from that, and names were changed. We know them as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And it was like when you are now captured, I don't want you to I don't want you to remember those things. You are no longer anything attached to what you've learned and known before. I'm going to strip that from you. That's kind of what was supposed to happen. But apparently there was something down on the inside of those young men that would not let up and that would not give up. And they held on to the God that they grew up with and knew. And here they are in captivity. I mean, they had great positions because these were very strong and learned men. But in captivity and not necessarily having access or the reminders of home, there was something inside of them that kept them in terms of having a close relationship with God. Just because they were not in their norm or surrounded by the people that they loved and the culture and all, just because they did not have those things did not mean that it was taken from them. It was something deep inside of them that held them together. And so as they are thrown into this furnace, right? Instead of, well, I guess, once you get thrown in this furnace and the people behind you that are throwing you in kind of die on the spot from the heat, but you've walked into this furnace, and the moment it must have been amazing, the moment they walked in and realized, hey, it actually feels pretty comfortable in here. I don't know what kind of conversation they might have had, but it must have been an amazing moment. And so now here they're walking around. The very first line in this chapter of the Prayer of Azariah, they walked around in the midst of the flames, singing hymns to God and blessing the Lord. And then Azariah stands in the middle of the fire and he's praying. All right. There's a verse today that I want to take a look at. There are several actually in here that I really like, but what really stuck out yesterday, and I mentioned it yesterday as well, that he says, we don't have, well, first he's, Lord, we've sinned. Please forgive us. That's what he says here in verse 6. For we've sinned and broken your law. But he tells God before that, you know what? Blessed are you. You are glorious. You are just in all you've done. We can't find no fault in you. And then he says how they have sinned, how the people of Israel have sinned and how they've turned away, how they, And then he says, you know what, Lord, we don't have an offering. We don't have a sacrifice or oblation or incense. No place to make an offering before you and to find mercy. We don't have any of that. He says, yet with a contrite heart and a humble spirit, may we be accepted. And this is the part. It's as though it were with burnt offerings and rams and bulls, or with tens of thousands of fat lambs. Such may our sacrifice be in your sight today, and may we unreservedly follow you. He's saying we're giving ourselves up as sacrifices. Isn't that something? So that's the verse that I'm going to journal today. Yet with a contrite heart and a humble spirit, may we be accepted. That's my prayer today. Hmm? He's a good God. He loves us, and we have not done all that we can or should do. But it should be our desire every day, every morning we wake up. Lord, please forgive me for yesterday and what I did not accomplish, and help me to do better today. And please, Lord, may whatever I put my hand and heart and mind to do, may it be acceptable. Hmm? Yeah. So that's where I am this morning. And I already started. I already wrote it in, so you don't have to see me struggle. You don't have to see me struggle kind of putting things together. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure why this didn't make it. It just doesn't make sense to me. But it's okay. I got it. I done found it. And sometimes, look, you know what? I think it's Jeremiah. He said, if you seek me, you will find me. You will find me. If you seek with me your whole heart. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm pretty okay with what we have here. I think so. So yesterday I did his name, Azariah. It means in Hebrew, helped by God. I just put Yah, okay, short for Yahweh. All right. Helped by God. I think it's quite appropriate. I'll do my heart first. I think it's great. Let me see, I'm not really staying on my lines. It's just really to give me a good idea of how far it can go. I could have written humble a little bigger, but it's okay. We'll go with it. All right, so if you're just joining in, just tuning in this morning, good morning to you. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. We are in a book you probably don't have in your Bible. I can't even call it a book. It's probably just, like a chapter or something. All right. It's called the Prayer of Azariah. One of the 3 Hebrew boys. You probably know him as Abednego. And And there was someone long ago who decided, that there were some books that they weren't going to include. And or some things that they were not going to include. And again, you know what? It does not disturb the message of God's plan for His people. It does not disturb the message of the Messiah who was to come and who came, who died, who rose, who's coming back. It doesn't disturb any of that, okay? And I decided to present it today and yesterday just because it's not something that we normally ascribe to, just because it's not in our book. It's not in the 66 books. But, I mean, how are you going to just determine that, oh, we're not going to include that? Who are you? I'm just saying. And doesn't our 66 book, one of the verses in here says all scripture? So who determined that this was not? I didn't want to get up this morning fussing. I'm just saying that to me it just doesn't make sense. And it's all right. It been hidden, but I done found it. All right. Look, and all of this is for the uplifting of His name. All right. And I think it's a great lesson. They are in the middle of some heat, some fire, and we've been in some positions and some spots in our lives that, we probably can say, oh yeah, I done been in some hot places. I have been in some I done been in some tight and hot places. Didn't think I was gonna make it. Thought that thing was gonna overtake me. I'm using some acrylic paint, red for my heart, okay? And just a thin coat. Just a thin coat. So hey, you know what? If you don't want to do this in your Bibles, that's all right. Just create yourself a little notebook. Get you a journal. Write them down. Write them down. Uh-oh. Okay. A contrite and humble heart, humble spirit, contrite heart and a humble spirit. May we be accepted. I don't know if I've got some folks on. If I do, my camera's in a funny spot now. I've got a different setup, and so I can't see names of people anymore. But hey. Please know that I love you, and I'm so glad that you've decided to hang out with me this morning. All right, I want to do some stuff to some of my words, and I think I want to take my pencil just in case. I'm going to work on this humble. Add another something or another to it. Just making them a little different. Okay. So adding a few lines and here and there, and we'll do, let's see, what else are we going to now do that A here? Okay. I want to do something with accepted. We'll see. I don't know. Let's go ahead and make my lines here, though, for humble. All right. Well, I probably should do like humble and accept and contrite, maybe, with that. It's sometimes fun to add a few little extra something or another. They're all kind of different fonts and things. I don't really veer off too much from my own, handwriting. All right. Well, I'm gonna wait to do this. I think I want to do my background like this over here on this side too. So I will do the painting part first, and then we'll come back and write on our words. Okay. All right. So I'm using some gelatos, and that's what I have over here on this side. And I've got my little mat. See, I don't know how much you all can see of that. Maybe I'll scoot over a little bit. And yeah. Okay. Let's see. So I'll start with this funny blue color. I've had these for a long time. This and my Derwent ink tints pencils. Those were like my most expensive purchases, but you know, they last for a nice long time. If you keep up with them, they'll last you for a good while. And these have. And both of those products, the ink tints and as well as the gelatos, they're permanent. So, you know, you put them in your book. If it gets wet, you know, it doesn't get ruined. Okay. Okay. And just wanting to put a little bit of water down, and my brush will probably be rounded. I think I'll use. I like this one. It's kind of fat, but I think it'll be all right. All right. And yeah, I'm gonna try my best not to use too much water, because of course the more water that you use, the lighter the color will be. All right. Try to get all those little bits in there and dissolve them. This is the real fun part for me. Sometimes I will sit and just, it's just really fun. It really is. All right, so I'm just gonna put my blue here. And you'd see I'm being messy with it. I'm not really. Trying to be neat. Okay. So hey, I think that you all will enjoy reading this. Yesterday I read 1 through 22. I read the whole prayer. And I thought it was beautiful. And the red is going to be really rich because I didn't use a lot of water. I just wanted to spread a little bit. So hey, have fun with it, you all. Have some fun as you dig into some scripture. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess I was going to say to you, you should download if you don't have the apocrypha. You should download this particular prayer and song. Now this particular these have a little bit of like glitter. It's from my kind of a galaxy theme. Put some of that orange right on top of that red on that side. I think these colors will be my theme when I turn the page. And this week we'll just look at a few of the verses out of here. I don't really want to get all of that in my spine. Finish up this side from yesterday. It has a little pearl in it. Okay. So I will finish up. I'm behind in my posting. I need to do that. I will. Seems like my days and times it's rolling fast. Okay. Yeah, I will finish working on my words after this dries nicely and make those special. Okay. So, yet with a contrite heart and a humble spirit, may we be accepted. Want to be accepted, right? Everybody wants to be wanted. That's just a part of the human nature. But I think it's a way different thing when we are being wanted and accepted by God, huh? Yeah. I think that's way more special. All right, you all. So hey, join me tomorrow. We'll come back to the Prayer of Azariah and the song of the three Jews, huh? Out of the apocryphal book, the Prayer of Azariah. I think it's beautiful. Yeah. So when you get a chance, download it if you don't have it. Okay, it's on. Look, Google is your friend. I've said that several times. It's your friend, and it's a great tool if used properly. All right. God bless you. May your journey be sweet. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.